Well, hello and welcome to stream. Let's go ahead and see what we can get into. We're going to do a little bit of Art Bell Coast to Coast. And this here on 10/30 of 2001 with Kathleen Keating.
By the way, they're going to have the fifth inning of the World Series where they played my welcome to the annual War. First of all, I saw watching Tommy Thompson and some played Dr. Larry King tonight, and boy, I don't know, folks. I know Tommy Thompson is kind of king. You may have seen him on 60 Minutes of everything is safe, everything is okay, which, I guess is a message that somebody in his position probably has to deliver. But, Larry King at one point said, Tommy, don't you think there's some danger in continually telling everybody that everything's all right? Yes. So I don't know whether any of you happen to see it and interpret it the same way I did, but it's kind of like, right, everything's fine. Just fine. An American bomb, a really, really big American bomb, blasted huge plumes of smoke 1,000 feet into the skies over Afghanistan's front lines on Tuesday in what's being called an unusually mighty airstrike. Mighty big. And you have to wonder if they might have used a fuel air bomb, the first fuel air bomb. They actually produced something that really is more akin to a mushroom cloud, so I don't know. But whatever they dropped, it was really, really big. U.S. authorities suspect that Osama bin Laden's inner circle have issued new orders for attacks against Americans and are concerned that the terrorists might strike even if they are cut off from their now, of course, in Afghanistan. Now, of course, I'm sure there would be a doomsday order. If you cannot talk to us, if you cannot speak to us, do the following. So I don't think everything's okay. Everything doesn't feel okay. It feels like something is going to happen soon. Even the government, without giving specifics, which, by the way, they say they don't have, is saying something is going to happen soon. The Pentagon today confirming the presence of our guys on the ground in Afghanistan. Not a lot of them, but they are there. The news story that broke about an hour before I got on the air yesterday is a big one today. A hospital worker gravely ill with inhalation anthrax today. As an yesterday, it was prompted investigators to worry that it actually might be spreading at postal facilities from one piece of mail to another. Now, this woman, as I told you last night, became the first outside the news media or postal service to be infected with this horrible thing. I wonder if she'll make it. I think it's nip and talk about whether she'll make it. But once the inhalation anthrax is gone pretty far, you don't make it. Still, we have to keep all of this in perspective. What's going on right now, even though it's horrible that it's killed people, 16 infected, I think 3 dead. Maybe more to come. 3 more suspected ongoing right now. Even though all of that is true, it's honest, not much. In the bigger scheme of things, the 20,000 killing the flu, it's not much. So what we've got going on here so far is a distraction. It doesn't generate terror, to be sure. But if you keep it in perspective, it's not too terrifying. What we have to worry about would be some sort of other biological something like that. And I think it's reasonable to say to all of you that there could develop a situation and you need to keep your eyes on it. You should become isolated. If you were in your family, you become isolated. And you should prepare for some period of isolation if you can handle it. Just deal with basic stuff. Don't go crazy and turn around. Obviously, water. That if you had to spend at least a few days or even forbid a week or a month in isolation, you could do so. So think about that. And I think it's proper that we all think about that. Now, the drug site this hour is a story from New Scientist entitled Anthrax Preparation indicates Oregon. Let me read a little bit of this to you. As anthrax continues to turn up in U.S. postal facilities and postal workers, evidence is now emerging that it is an American product. Genetically close to the strain the U.S. has used in its own anthrax weapons in the 1960s, but new scientists can reveal that these spores also seem to have been prepared according to, get this folks, the secret U.S. weaponization recipe. The secret U.S. weaponization recipe. This is troubling, say bioterrorism specialists, while the terrorists behind the anthrax-laced nail, U.S. might not have their hold of a strain of anthrax in single laboratories around the world, the method the U.S. developed for turning a wet bacterial culture into a dangerous dry powder is a closely guarded secret. Its apparent use in the current state or state of attacks could mean that the secret is off. The alternative is that someone is using anthrax produced by the own U.S. biological weapons program that ended in 1969. The scope for further attacks could be limited experiments, which is true, are now underway in this country. So this could be our own stuff, could easily be our own stuff. And you've got to wonder if the terrorists are sitting back saying, nice addition, we didn't do it, but nice addition. Or maybe they did do it, and it's just sort of a cover for whatever else is about to happen. And it really does feel like something is about to happen. The government warnings aside, and they're warning now of the short term, sometime they say in the next week, you can just feel it, can't you? I can. Now, the fact that the anthrax is homegrown, by the way, doesn't indicate that it's being sent by Americans. You've got to bear that in mind. Although it does mean that apparently it came from our stock, which is something to think about. We constantly talk about how loose the Russians are. With nukes hither and yon in little huts without locks, very lax security. The terrible biological weapons they have there. But if this came from here, from America, if this is homegrown, then who's got the lax security? Would it be too hard for something from Russia to make its way to Bin Laden, right? Look at that. And then I suppose here. But we're supposed to be the ones with the big-time security. You hear me saying it's our anthrax. I want to think about that a little bit. No offense to Tommy Thompson, because I think he's a great guy, but I'm sorry, I don't believe it. He flat out just said America's safe. Baloney. America is not safe. They just crashed two airplanes into the World Trade Center buildings, brought them down, crashed into the Pentagon. We've got a small outbreak of anthrax right now, and the possibility of something awful biologically coming at us. We've got warning saying this week something is going to happen. I would not say America is safe, and I have a hard time listening to Tommy Thompson. from his 60 minutes appearance to his appearance tonight on Larry King. I don't know. It's like I really think Americans can handle the truth. And the truth is, of course, there's some danger. You gotta look around you. We're at war. Of course, there is danger. Anyway, to the phone lines. First time caller line, you are on the air. Hi, Art. Hello, Chris from Minnesota. How are you? Okay, Chris, welcome to the show. Well, thanks for having me. You were talking the other day about thinking out of the box, and I have a great idea. Okay? Let's put harlots on Al Jazeera television and threaten to send her to Afghanistan if the Taliban doesn't turn Bin Laden over. Do you think she'd be threatening for them? Well, I think she'd be pretty close. And instead of dropping pig blood, which people have been talking, I think we should drop mayors so their beard will fall out. That'd really embarrass them. I don't know about dropping mayor. I'm not so sure it's effective in that manner. You've got to kind of spread it out. But they could probably come up with something that wouldn't hurt you otherwise. But all of your hair would drop off. Now, that's a pretty damn good idea. Thank you very much. I don't know about me. I don't think the mere dropping of mayor would do the job. But certainly they could drop something that would be vectored to only the males in Afghanistan and would cause their hair to fall off. Maybe they figured out some kind of message from Allah. And there's something that massive, that interesting could be done. That's way out of the box, but not bad, actually. Scheme of things, with the genetics the way they are right now, you let go of a little genetic bomb vectored to the males, and their hair falls out. Black and Tribal, you're on the air. Hello, this is Raymond. I'm calling from Michigan. Raymond, hi. Earlier you mentioned that large fire that we found that caused such a large explosion. Yes. We don't know if it was the bomb itself or what was actually hit that caused the explosion. Well, that, of course, is a good question. But usually, if they talk about secondary explosions, in this case, they didn't. Right, because I thought maybe a storage facility or something that exploded, maybe. Possible, certainly possible, but usually it's written as a secondary explosion. Well, I wouldn't be surprised, but if we're going to drop a few air bombs, we've used them before. They're a form of terror as well as an effective military tool. Yeah, well, I don't know how you look at it. In your opinion, let's take this war for example. Why does it seem like we, for them, for the most part, fight by the rules and our enemy does not? Well, why do we say fighting? I don't know. I think that publicly we do. We try to avoid civilian casualties, and I think at every level actually we do that. But I don't think on the ground in Afghanistan, the special forces that are going in, or that actually are in, I don't think they're playing by the rules at all. They're trained not to play by the rules. I think they're trained to kill. Well, yeah, I mean, war in general. No, not in general. Very specifically trained to kill. And do I think we're assassinating here? I do. So I don't think we're necessarily playing as cleanly as you might imagine when you read papers or watch TV and listen to radio. Yeah, okay. Does that answer your question? Yeah, very well. Okay, thank you. I think we're playing the game every bit as dirty as they are, and I hope we're a little smarter. You know, we're no wimps, and trust me when I tell you that our intelligence agencies, our spook agencies, and our spook people are as capable and hopefully a lot smarter at this sort of thing. So, I mean, not hearing about it, we're not hearing about it. We were impressed with the frustrating and that sort of thing. Mr. Rocky, you're on the air. Hi, this is Max from Oberville. Yeah, Max, I'm going to take care of you on my great answer. I was trying to get home last night from the ranch to give you a call. I'm the poor man, yes. from the coach of my truck. It was just, I didn't care how it was just awful hard. It was just awful hard. It was like getting into a car almost for a second. He could have been working to come to the window. And I always get prayer before I leave there because there's so many animals on the road. More people, if there's any animals trying to cows or whatever. You try to let them be cows. So I forgot to say I appreciate the call, thank you. I would imagine so, but hundreds of pounds, hundreds of pounds, and it's like hitting a speed post. First time going live, you were on the and you know Mr. Call, what do you mean, Mr. Caller? This is a border block south on 29. And last night you guys were talking about the shadow people and stuff like that. One time, shoot, I don't know, a long time ago, I had a whole room turned into a shadow. Completely black, just my bedroom. Yes, sir. And I can see it from the burned out. What happened is that I had 6 windows in this house that I was renting. And I always could see lights from the city street. I never needed a red light. And what I wanted to tell you is that right just between you're going to sleep and still awake, you're thinking about mowing the lawn tomorrow or whatever, Maybe that's what you think about. Anyway, the thought came into my mind, and I thought it was me thinking this thought. I mean, it sounded like how you talk to yourself in your mind. Yes. And it said, it goes, Bob, why don't you get up out of bed and get on your boots and your pants and your cowboy hat and go across the street to a bar and pick up some young thing and bring back, do the wild thing, and you're back. Well, see, that's more like it's been although there is some sort of parallel that I'm not able to follow. What's that like in India? This is all you know. Right? election cases. U.S. Postal Service and the police, no matter what. But for God's sake, don't go back to touching those. Nothing else here already. Go back to touching it and wash your hands if you're ready. Don't go back on the case of the things that are magic. It's your common sense. Mr. Blockage, you're on here. You're okay. Well, today, we're going to talk about the affiliate. Maybe we can track down the readers of the comment. Maybe we should really do that. Overdone to me, overdone to the point where you go, but you're going, oh, come on, then you're not buying it. You're not buying it, but it's not good propaganda. The whole idea of propaganda is to have those in receipts in brief. Well, good line, you're on the air. Hello. All right, this is Larry from California. And I have a couple of things. Number one, when you look at the actual letter that they put on the race cam, right? The first thing that you realize is that the printing on that letter is not someone who first learned to write in Arabic. It's block printing. Well, it's block printing. It does not show the Arabic tendencies. I had a handwriting expert, and the real section was written by someone who learned English, the English alphabet in the American school. The second thing, I'm going to go to it first. I think yeah. And also, nearly 65% of these people's income come from opium fields, which they show on the news and have them outlined in red. These include running out of military quarters. Why not they slow off the actual to the end in their opium fields? I can't understand why they do not do that. I understand here. That is the interest that they say was going after their money. So what do you think? Well, maybe the final conclusion is that it's the only thing keeping the Afghani people afloat at all. It provides jobs. But it's probably true. I know that certainly workers in Colombia make a lot from the drug trade, but you're right. Right? Go off the field. Yeah, absolutely, because you couldn't see anything among sick people but the popular ideas. I mean, if they had a drug war, it would mean that would be the official percent. Yeah, I mean, most of them is going to be going for weapons and war and so forth. So, yeah, I agree. Well, I'm sure. 60% of their income comes from property, which turns as foreign. Here in the U.S., and of course, another big worry, and I know a lot of you have thought this out there, is that they might begin to poison the heroin supply, which comes into this country completely anyway, right? The only negative to that from their point of view would be they would be killing their own customers. Still, no, it's not a threat that can be discounted anyway. I mean, not everything is safe. That's actually what he's been saying. I'm going to tell Kathleen Keating is coming right up. Something happened here. When it The gates of hell Bringing you up to date on all the latest intel and behind-the-scenes info, Kathleen is currently working on an end-time thriller, Tom Sky, which will be released after the first of the year. The Gates of Hell, that book, puts an end to speculation about the validity of conspiracy theories and where they are taking us once and for all. Rumors and innuendo are put to rest, permanently knocked out, it says here, by extraordinary evidence that believe the perpetrators scurrying for a place to hide. Kathleen Keating's sensational book removes the masks from the major players and exposes them for what they are. After reading The Gates of Hell, you will never look at the world and its leaders quite the same way. The bubble is about to burst. Kathleen Keating, the international best-selling author of The Final Warning, delivers again with this shocking look at the underbelly of the world's most powerful players. Prepare to have your views shaken. That's what it says about the book. Kathleen Keating coming up in a moment. All right, here she is from, I think, Nebraska somewhere else. Kathleen Keating. Hi there.
Hi, Eric, from the great American outback, I guess.
Are you in Nebraska?
Yeah.
Yeah, what part?
Well, near the South Dakota border in the Sandhill, so that's where they call it the outback. It's the largest North American desert.
That's, I guess, a good place to be these days, huh?
Tell me about it, especially with all these warnings that are coming up.
Yeah. And I guess that's kind of where we're going to, in a way, that's kind of where we're going to head tonight, at least in part.
I'm afraid so.
These warnings. Now, the U.S. government, as you know, is saying that this week is going to be a dangerous week. That they expect that something may well occur. That the Latin may do something. The order may want to, knows what they know, really. They will tell us. From your point of view, what can you tell us? What do you know? What do you think?
Well, what is interesting, Art, is that my government sources and the visionaries are converging again. And that's a serious point because they did that on September 7th when I got information that we were going to be attacked. I knew for some time, when we talked about it, I think it was on your show back in March, and I mentioned that America was possibly going to be attacked. It bothered me because the information was hanging out there both sides, and watching it come together was very frightening. I'm sure it was for everybody when they woke up on September 11th themselves. I think right now, from what the visionaries are saying, and what these government sources are saying, we should say something as soon as tomorrow, the 31st. We're looking at the public number situation was 10/31, 2001, and up to 7. We've got also Halloween, which isn't good, and
let's go back before we can see. You're claiming now that you read about the code on September 7th, and you said 4 days later we were going to be attacked.
I didn't know the timing of it, but I did know we were going to be attacked. We have it recorded on the website. The names are all up on the website as to what happened with them. We put it on the website September 7th.
Okay.
So we were ahead of this curve on that one.
So you just have something coming, what, on the 11th or near the 11th or what?
I have been told for months to expect an attack, but in the first part of September, I was getting word from all sides, from various sources who never talked to one another, that it was imminent. And that the Taliban would be behind it. So I ran the Taliban Code and the Bible Code. And what came, well, the first one that we put up on 9/7 was Taliban counterattack the Taliban USA, violent and persecutor. And it actually came up, so I was really glad that didn't happen. But on the 11th, yeah. On 4 days later, the 11th after that terrible day, we ran it again. And it became a terror attack, target USA, nuke, violence, evil persecutor, no trade center, plane crash, devastation, and terrorism.
All from the Bible Code.
All from the Taliban Bible Code ran on 9/11. I also ran the Pentagon one on the same date and got Pentagon, plane crash, secondary target. And that just, it says shelter you when you find that stuff. So I knew about this before time.
Who's doing this work?
I do it personally and I have verified with people. I know some people in universities that can do it by hand. I use a computer program. But we're all coming down to the same line. And it looks like we're going to have one scary week.
Well, it's not really a scary week for me in a lot of ways. Now, the anthrax thing.
Yes.
There's something wrong with that story.
I think so too. And I'm wondering what terrorists we're facing. On the one hand, we have government people that can make that kind of anthrax have the sophistication in Iraq, and Russia can do it. It's really neat, and it's certainly anthrax has come up in the Bible, noting that we're being targeted by a lot of people. Probably in connection with the Taliban, but what worries me is the way people inside this country are working with terrorists. Are you getting that impression?
Really is that this anthrax came from our own stuff. You can see this pretty solid evidence for that now.
That doesn't surprise me at all. From what I've been finding out with my sources and in the Bible code, what the visionaries are saying. And that's correct. It's disgusting. If it is,
regarding what's coming up very soon, if you've got that information from the Bible code, you should be able to tell us with equals.
There are so many targets that we have seen so far that have not been hit. And
what at best is going
the best I know, if people do not pray tonight and it's vital that they do, we could see a more severe attack than we saw in September 11th.
any idea of the nature of it.
It could be nuclear. It could be. It could be something else, but it has the possibility of being a nuclear problem.
This is only from the listener, but it's a transplant that I got a little while ago. I would have to confirm it. Help me out here. I'd like to confirm this from Kathy in Sonora, California. And she writes on Fox News. Nuke smuggled to Colombia 3 weeks ago, now possibly through the Mexican border, to make us a dirty bomb to spray on us. Fox tonight with human insanity. So I really have no idea whether.
I heard that report.
You have.
I have heard that Russia is using some weapons, and now we have a suitcase that they think is being smuggled in.
So there could be a nuclear weapon here.
Well, I think we have several suitcases already here. And I think that they will be used. We are done looking at it and happen to attack weapons and have a nuclear suitcase on board. We know for a fact from prophecy and certainly from Father Martin that New York will ultimately suffer a nuclear blast, but I'm hoping that we can put this off.
How likely is an attack in the next few days of some great magnitude? How likely?
As of yesterday, it was somewhat likely. It seemed to have changed to perhaps it could happen. Now it's back from the information that I'm getting just before we went on the air that it looks as if unless we really go back and pray to God, it's going to happen. I don't know for sure. I mean, nobody knows but God and the people that are planning it, but it really is a serious time.
It's so serious that one of the questions you submitted is one I asked you, I'd love to ask you. And it has to do with the crackdown on terrorism and what's coming of it, the talk of national rights products.
Right.
And the passage of legislation, that it could be argued, infringes to some degree on our rights, more emails being read, more communication monitored, that sort of thing. On the other hand, how can we not do it?
It's a double deal, isn't it? I mean, we're damned if we do and we're damned if we don't. We're losing our freedoms in the lots. If one of these activities happen, we have the need to have a crackdown, but we also are losing our freedoms as we know it. I read a code last year on July 4th, it said that the U.S. would be, I don't know what the word for it was, but would be suspended, I guess is what the code said, by the UN. Can you imagine that? It would suspend the U.S. government, it would come under UN control, but we will come back to the United States eventually. That's a scary notion. And when you're talking about a national ID card, which seems like a mark of the beast, but we're certainly getting close to that. We are just a hair away or another major incident away from closing state borders and having a national ID card and making much worse. I mean, we're going forward. We're certainly not slowing down this process. So the next time in the plan is certainly be a crackdown on this country running national law. The state borders could very well be closed. But with transportation, you have to have special papers and everything. It would really resemble Nazi Germany. It is. It's going to change the whole complexion of the country. And I'm not sure that we're ready for it. I know we're not ready for it. I would have said that it's really locked down prior to 9/11, but you know, another 9/11 or two or something even worse. Right, and if they do next, you know, that the national ID and ran through. It's not that driver's license isn't valid or not, that non-citizens shouldn't have a different kind of driver's license. I really believe the driver's license is a must. But you can see where this is going. I saw this from a biblical perspective. Martin Beast is online as somewhere like right in that process. The national ID, I've had a lot of questions about it. It is not a mark in itself, but it is a precursor to the mark. It's kind of getting suggested, and I have found something in the code that was disturbing with anthrax, and the Navy's going to be tainted. And you can see how that's going to play into a cashless society. That's actually, that's my worst fear. Yeah. And that was it. The Bible came up with that. It did. My heart stopped, and it was like, oh, that shows that will completely change our financial situation. This is really serious stuff, and even short of mass prayer to turn it around, it's unhappy. I think so. There was a great surge of prayer for 9/11 for a few weeks. It's kind of brutal. And if we got back to that, if we really got back to prayer, we could put off, if not totally stop what's happening and what is going to happen. I don't have a good feeling about tomorrow or the rest of the week or even through Christmas. We're getting into a very heightened demonic time, starting tomorrow through December 25th to December 25th. It is interesting, and I think you found it so, that probably 911 President Bush used the word evil so many times. And the evil one, which a lot of people use for the Antichrist, it is interesting. Call out the Laden is not the Antichrist. What do you show a partner to it? Like, yeah, because you choose that word. I think that's what it's true. Wow, you say evil. I just kind of amazed. Well, the vocabulary is changed with the well, just the very nature of the act, the indiscriminate killing of civilians just to do it. Well, that's I'll tell you the word, like, I would just want to be the president use it as a argument for the rest of the crisis. But then it's been surprising few months. Yeah. Let's talk about mankind a little bit. Okay. There are many who would say that what we see happening right now could easily, in some machination, as the war continues, turn into the end of the world, where the end comes Armageddon. We took a giant leap in September. If there's an Armageddon clock, I like it. The bullets and other atomic scientists have this clock, and the time get gained because they run it up toward midnight. If there's an Armageddon clock from the religious point of view, it would seem to be pretty close to midnight, wouldn't it? That depends on us. Yes, if we don't pray. And no, if we do pray, I think we'd have a few more years. I think we could have as many as perhaps 5 to 7 good years before it gets really super ugly. And that's putting it off. We can do it. It happened, I think in the 1400s at St. Vincent Ferrer. The same situation where the whole world was ready to go. Everything was carnage, but through prayer and conversion, it was signed off until this time. Certainly we could do it now. We have even more reason to do it now with all this horrible nuclear stuff coming through.
Well, there are lots of ways that somebody can imagine this war, and I've always told people, when you roll the war dice, you are in fact rolling the dice, and the Christians rolled one pretty at the extreme thing.
It would take that much to turn it that way, because we're getting more and more countries involved. And if the man was traveling, as most people think he is about in Afghanistan, it's just going to spread, and even if he's dead, it's not going to matter. Because there's always going to be a bin Laden.
I suppose in this day and age, that, something did change 9/11. It permanently changed, and that is our view of, I guess, how secure we are at home. And I don't think anything will be quite the same. Everybody talks about getting back to normal. It's never going to be as defined. It's better than 9/11. The definition of normal is one thing. If you want to call it normal, you've got to redefine it now.
You do, and I don't know, do you have trouble when you go to sleep now, when you look around for the night when you wake up?
I have had a lot of trouble sleeping since 9/11, period. And the first several weeks, I really lost so much sleep. I just didn't sleep at all. I think I was on here nightly talking about it, and it all sunk in, and I understood exactly where we were and are. And I think no deviation from that, yeah, and it looks like we headed to a really rough place.
Are you surprised? I mean, were you physically affected when you fall like that when you did your heart palpitate a little bit? Even though you knew it was coming eventually?
No, I went into shock. Yeah. I actually went into shock, and hard shock for me lasted like 3 or 4 days of really hard shock. And before I could even begin thinking about other elements of what had happened, I could not get over what had happened. It was a state of shock. I'm sure it was evident on the air. We're here at the bottom of the hour, Kathleen, so hold on. It's a really strange time. The following fast lasted to me by Mac in Portland, Oregon. It says, I confirm the Fox News report. I work for Fox. The material may be in the U.S. for a dirty nuke, not on their website yet. Now, I've got about 10 similar reports. Obviously, the story has legs. Here's the thing. If the terrorists were able to get from South America or wherever plutonium in this country, they would have to explode a nuclear bomb to cause a nuclear incident. All they would have to do is get plutonium together and put it together with TNT or some other explosive. You would scatter weapons-grade plutonium from a very large area. It would have an effect just like a nuclear weapon. Now, I'll tell you, Kathleen, I almost cannot imagine the circumstances when we would use a nuclear weapon. However, if somebody were to explode a conventional explosives and scatter plutonium over a wide area of a densely populated area, I can conceive of the United States using a nuclear weapon in retaliation itself. And if that scenario began to be true, then, the balloon can really easily go up if we use the nuke against Afghanistan. Hard to imagine unless something like that happens here and you can't go without them.
No, I think it's organized, but I would choose for truthful, I didn't mind the truthful by the time this is over. I don't know that we will strike. That's debatable right now. I think it's something that a lot of people may want to do. I think hopefully there are no cooler heads, because I'm not sure that we accomplish anything by starting a nuclear annihilation program, because it would become very, very quickly. Ultimately it will. But I'm not sure that that's where we're going yet. I hope not.
Well, I hope not too, but
because you're looking at major cities, New York, Los Angeles, and it's a devastation.
if they were to use something of that magnitude and poison millions of people,
Right.
I would repercussions to respond in kind might be unbearable.
And maybe that's the plan. I don't know. I don't know how they're going to refrain from it. I think that they really didn't get Saddam Hussein, in the early 90s, and we're paying for that now. They really feel that going after Iraq may be the answer.
So far, they're showing no signs. In fact, quite the opposite. They seem to be giving signals that we're not going to go into Iraq, which surprises me.
Well, I think they're trying to cool things down a little bit because Hussein's obviously has some hand in this, whether or not openly he helped the terrorists. And I think that they want to cool it down a little bit before it turns into a real conflict, especially for Israel.
Speaking of Israel, you believe uncovered something involving Israel, the Temple Mount, and the whole time thing.
Well, the excavation that's going on there is going to become very interesting and very significant in the future because some documents are going to be dug up from the Temple Mount that will change religion forever. False documents. These are documents that will just change Christianity as we know it in all religions and will be shoved into that one world religion.
In what way?
Well, I think we're going to see the denial of the divinity of Jesus as a big step.
Oh, that would throw a big cog in the wheel, all right.
It will, and it will also open the door for the Antichrist and the Antipope.
The denial of the divinity of Jesus. Yeah, if they were to dig that up and they were authenticated documents, boy, talk about axing Christianity.
Wouldn't that be a blow?
It would be it's unimaginable. It's unimaginable. On what basis do you say this?
I've done a lot of research into this about the Knights Templar, and they're digging under the Temple Mount.
Yes.
And of course the Muslims are in there too, trying to, they're getting rid of all the Jewish artifacts, and anything of history that is true history is being destroyed. So that we're setting the stage not only for the end of Christianity, but the alien deception is part of the Temple Mount problem, in that we're going to see them taking an active role. We're probably even going to be showing holograms that will have, been doctored to give us what they feel is history.
I was thinking that's what we should do to the Taliban. But we're the ones with the good technology in that area.
Sure.
Why not use it on them?
Well, that's a good question.
I mean, that's unimaginable that there would be some documents. Who would these documents, in your opinion, have been prepared by?
Probably it's going to be associated or attributed to people that worked on the Dead Sea Scrolls. And they're always being accepted right now. We have a big change in the Bible.
No, I'm saying who would actually falsify these documents? That's what I'm asking.
Well, I think you're going to see the Knights Templar, or maybe even some of the darker forces in the Vatican.
Oh, the Vatican. I have been interviewing so many guests, and you're just one of them, Kathleen, who've been telling me that there is evil in the Vatican. Father Martin said it. Many other of my guests have said it. It's so hard to believe. It's so hard to believe. And yet, of all places, the Vatican.
What better place carry on war. You always want to know what your enemy's doing. And they're right in the thick of it. They've got the Pope surrounded. He's not doing that well. He's in, of course, danger from them and from other forces. It's the best place for them to be, and to establish a one-world religion. The dark forces need that lone seed to take over the world.
If there was a one-world religion, Kathleen, what do you imagine it would be?
Hodgepodge, created by the Antichrist. It would be a little bit of this and a little bit of that, where we ultimately adore the Antichrist as God.
So then, biblically, most would fall for it, right?
Well, sure, and now that the Bible's being changed significantly with the discovery of the latest Dead Sea Scrolls, we're getting part of that now. We're trying to get everybody moving towards the center, where Catholics are starting to look more like Protestants, and Protestants are accepting Catholics that way, and that the Jews are coming around, and just to get everybody into one fell swoop, in one group. Unfortunately, the code backs that up.
That's good. Can you give me some idea what the code says that does back that up?
Sure. Let me look here. We've had a lot of things as far as the Vatican. We've got Cardinal Martini, who was a Jesuit. It says when you run the Jesuit code, and Father Martin would probably be delighted with this information out after he wrote the book, The Jesuits, that Martini would change Rome and ultimately control the world. The Jesuits would, and he, of course, is a Jesuit. So you're looking at the fact that the Jesuits are really adopted communistic principles. Not all Jesuits, but some of the Jesuits in power seem to have adopted Marxist tendencies. We see Jesuit priests in Central and South America carrying guns and shooting, which is against what the Pope wanted. He is trying to disband the Jesuits for this activity, but it's just they're in charge. They're working. At least Martini is working.
Of course, a lot of the Jesuits have turned up in pools of blood, too.
I know, and they have suffered. You have very good Jesuits, and then you have this darker side. And I think that's true with anything. Oh, yeah. Harm from trees and just, yes.
So, on the one hand, I understand their need.
Yeah.
There it is, it's still.
But it's just an inkling of what's coming. I mean, they're going to control the world religion. It's just all going to go into one pot.
Along with the New World Order.
Right.
You really could not have a New World Order, a real order, without having one economy and one religion. And then, of course, to follow and govern all that, one government, right?
Right. One leader.
I have always thought and said on the air that I think inevitably it is going to that. It's a matter of when, how soon. Now, I suppose events could force it fairly quickly, or it could run its course and not even be in our lifetimes.
We could vote for that and pray for that.
In recent days, it doesn't seem like that's likely course, does it?
No, that one was going to leaps and bounds towards the New World Order, because it's going to come from security. We need security, so we're going to give away our rights just together. We need peace. It's going to be that horrific in this country that we're going to beg for the national ID card. We're going to beg for our freedom to be taken away.
Well, fear will do that for us.
Right. And fear hit us really hard. Really nice.
There's a lot of fear around.
Mm-hmm.
The third secret of Fatima, I spoke both in public and private with Father Martin about it. We had many discussions about it. And then during the period that I was off the air, the Vatican released the third secret of Fatima. And I must tell you, I stood straight up. I read everything I could get my hands on about it. And when I was done, I didn't for 1 second believe they had released the entire third secret of Fatima. What about you?
I knew they didn't. I knew it was a lie. I had the Vatican intelligence officer contact me before it was released, telling me what they were going to do.
Oh, you did?
I did, and even to the page count of how many pages they were going to release, and that it was an outright lie. You know, I ran the Bible code on it, and it said that the third secret was a fake release by Rome to do for public.
It said that.
Yes, it said that. And even more shocking was Father Martin's code, which, are you ready for this? It says Martin Malachi, priest, secret, cast out demons. It describes him there. That he was killed.
Well, I heard rumors that he was pushed.
Well, and I have uncovered some information that maybe he was working on an exorcism of a little girl and took that little girl into his home, and that may have been part of the problem.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
None of that's made it to me.
That comes from a good friend of his.
I did hear rumors from people who knew him. Listen, the third secret, if we really knew it all and knew what was not told to us in the supposed complete final release, what would be ahead?
Well, horrors beyond our worst imagining. Nuclear devastation, millions of people being wiped out of this earth in a moment's notice.
Why would the Vatican, which presumably, I guess you should never presume, I know, be interested in any reverence before religious institutions it could gather? I mean, you would think the wilder the third secret really was, the more the reason of acting would have to release it. Why would they lie about this? Why lie?
Because I think it spoils their plans. If we know with the complacency that nothing bad's going to happen, it's a lot easier for them to perpetrate the evil that they're going to perpetrate.
It's so hard to swallow. Even when Father Martin used to talk to me about the Vatican, I really had a hard time.
Oh, I know. It's Bible code on Father Martin said the priest that was the third secret, the underworld had him ordered to stop the talking. It's very specific, and if they're dirty enough to do that, they're dirty enough to lie about what's coming.
Yeah, sure they are. I almost don't know what to say about this.
It's appalling, and it's disgusting that it's taking place, but unfortunately that is reality. And I think we're going to have to accept reality for what it is, like it or not. Right or not.
The only thing that any individual can do is pray. That's it.
We can pray, if you look at the codes and you see that the new order is behind this. All of these major changes, all of these diseases from West Nile virus wasn't something that was just contracted and spread. It was created in a lab to kill us. The Bible code is so specific. It is telling us, and I think God is trying to give us a chance by telling us what's coming and who's behind it, for us to stand up for ourselves, for our countries, and to regain our rights.
Kathleen, why would God put all of this in a code that it would take a computer to decipher? Many people ask that question.
It doesn't. You can do it by hand, and I know people that do use hand manipulation with it. They know how to do it, the skip codes and so forth.
It'll take a long time, though.
Yeah, it would, but they can do it. Some rabbis possess the whole Torah in their heads and they can recite it.
Okay, but you're still not answering my question. My question really is, why would God put such a code in the Bible at all?
Because he wanted to give us a fair chance in these times to know what's coming and what isn't coming, and to tell us who's behind it, because he loves us. Why would he think that Art Bell would be in the high desert on radio with a back problem? Before the beginning of time, he wrote that. It was there. It was a thought of you. Why wouldn't he tell us?
Whoa, slow. This is just getting to me. You're telling me that in the Bible code, you found Art Bell in the desert, high desert?
Did Alan send that to you?
No.
I sent it to him, yes.
He probably decided not to forward it for perhaps even good reasons. Anyway, proceed.
But that's what it said, Art Bell.
It said Art Bell.
High desert, radio, and back entry. Now, if God cared enough so much about you to mention that even in the Bible code, when he dictated the Bible to Moses letter by letter, certainly he's going to tell us about the New World Order and about the diseases that are being fabricated to cull the population. He doesn't want this to happen.
Well, if he was on my back problem, then how about with assistance?
I'm sure he'd be glad to help you. Have you asked him?
Good point. Good point. How do you, there are people who charge, Kathleen, that the Bible code that you can find in that time any doggone thing you want in the Bible.
I don't think that's true from my experience. I've tried to run a lot of things that people claim that you could find in there. Not everybody comes up. Not everything does come up. I've not found that you can use Moby Dick either and find it in the high desert. I just think that from my experience, it is a good thing, and I really believe, after tons of research and talking with a lot of authorities, it's the real deal.
Can you tell us what software you use to do this?
Bible Codes Plus 2000.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Bible Codes Plus 2000. So there's a piece of software, commercial or available, or what?
Right. I think we have a link on our site to it, but I don't get any profit from it at all. People ask me so much, we just finally put up the link.
And then you tried to put other things in.
Sure.
Just as a test, right?
Sure. Just as a test, because I'm skeptical and I don't swallow things easily. I have to see it proven 5 ways before I'll believe it. And even the Bible code says God encoded, God is true. Moses hid in the code. I mean, it's that God gave the code to Moses. You heard about the book of Daniel or whatever that would be sealed until the end of time. I truly believe it's the Bible code.
All right, well, you totally freaked me out. Hold on, it's the top of the hour, and my name totally freaked me out. My name popping out of the Bible code. Why should I create any concern for the man? Oh my okay, I'm going to do exactly that.
Okay, I think you can get to it from the front page, from one of the main page.
No, I didn't know that was coming.
I must have been one of you said go ahead and read, and I thought that he had sent it to you, so I guess it didn't come back. He's in there.
He's in there?
Yeah.
Good.
So you have company.
I wonder how many people, I mean, what happens when you run your friends, run everybody you know, run their name, how many are there?
That's a good question. I don't know. I mean, sometimes they come up and sometimes they don't. Sometimes women are using their own names or their husband's code. So it's probably not just them.
I'm trying to believe it. The usual thing is happening, so I can't get there. That's true. Maybe it's for my own good, but I can't get there. That's it.
I think it's scary. Just what I said to you.
That's true.
Next trouble, high desert radio.
Yeah. All right. Let's see, where to go from here? You and I have not really talked about the gates of hell. Go on.
Well, we sort of have in the past hour or so.
Yeah, that's all right, but that's all.
Yeah.
And just, if I were to say, describe to people what the gates of hell is all about. Obviously, it's relevant. Oh, you have something special going on too, don't you?
It's a very special. Yeah. Yeah, it's 966-308-62 that's the free warning in the case we have. We have to request, I think it's even, yeah.
Do you know what it is?
I think it's $24 for both. Or $13.95 for dates or the final warning singularly.
Yeah, it's a $13.95 each, so if they've done that, they really have reduced it.
They have, and it's just for you, and there will be people there from now until the trumpet sounds. God willing.
I'll let you know again.
Okay.
It's 1-866-308-6235, correct?
Correct, and they're great people, and they ship very quickly. I'm really happy to say that.
24 hours a day.
24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Well, right now.
You bet.
Why did you get the title The Gates of Hell?
Because I think that we're having our noses driven right into the gates. We're coming so close to annihilation. And so many souls are not prepared for what's coming. The gates are opening for millions of souls.
You're saying a lot of people are going to be passing to the other side.
Right.
And they're not necessarily going to be on the up escalator.
They're not ready. And, but we know in the end that the gates of hell will not prevail. But it's going to get ugly until we get to that point.
I have a feeling that you would not accept an anthrax vaccination. Is that correct?
No, I wouldn't. Would you? I mean, there's 80% chance that you could have some serious problems if you take this vaccine.
Well, listening to Tommy Thompson tonight, he did say that in a million, some would die, one would die, some would have brain damage and other problems. But it's all a number. Life is and death. It's all a numbers game.
It is.
So I guess it would depend for me on how serious I thought the anthrax threat was.
Well, most of the anthrax problems can be cured with antibiotics. We do have that Russian strain that only Cipro will touch, and then there's the other strain that you can die. Nothing will help you if you don't act quickly. So I think it's something, I'm not going to tell people not to take the vaccine, but I think that people should read about it and really make an informed decision.
Well, right now, they can't make a decision. There's nobody getting that.
Oh, no, because it's not approved. But we are seeing a lot of vaccines being developed, and I'm really skeptical about them because of the information I've found out about various things like West Nile and Ebola, and the fact that they have been manufactured. And we know that someone's going to be reaping the benefits for these vaccines, for the diseases that they've created.
Do you believe West Nile and Ebola are both manufactured?
Well, the biocode says this. And after doing a lot of research and verifying it, I don't use just the code to check it out, but the code said the West Nile mosquito virus, science made this disease to instill fear. That's pretty specific when you think about it.
Incredibly specific. Do you know how your Bible code program works? I mean, do you know any of the skipping that it does, or how it does, what it does? Do you know much about it?
Well, you can set the skip code to how many letters you want. You can arrange it that way. You can have it search just in Torah. You can use the Hebrew keyboard to type in, for instance, S.R.B, to be accurate. Yeah, I mean, you can adjust it. You can have it check horizontally, vertically, all directions. Now, your name is found, and anybody else's or any other fact that you're trying to find is found vertically. And the codes around it, the words that are found around it, are usually in different, either they go across the name, they surround the name, and ultimately, if you work the code out, you get a lot of pictures. If you pull back and you can zoom out and take a look, it's really fascinating to see it develop.
You've had a lot to say on my program about the Antichrist.
Yes.
That you really met him, you believe, at one point in your life.
No doubt in my mind.
No doubt.
No doubt.
Where do we stand with the emergence of the Antichrist?
Since our last chat in March, a lot of people have been seeing him, and he has been showing up in their homes. People have been pulled from their beds at night. They yell for help with Jesus, and they get it. But I mean, I think he's getting closer and closer. I don't think that the world is quite prepared for a man in long robes and perhaps wearing a turban right now. So I think the timing stinks for him right now. But he's getting through.
I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah.
The whole turban thing, it just...
it's a blessing in disguise.
It wouldn't go over at all right now.
No, it wouldn't. You know, if he showed up in a Normani suit, you know, and looking pretty good, I mean, it might be a different picture, but he's just not going to get away with it the way he could have a few months ago.
Now, I just finally reached your page.
Right.
And it says, Art Bell, radio host, back injury, author, high desert.
So what do you think?
And it claims that this came from Genesis 24:65.
Mm-hmm.
That's creepy.
You know what's even creepier? If you open the Bible, and I don't have one, to read that passage to you, that applies to you in the Bible.
Wow, how so?
Well, the chapter, whatever you said.
Genesis 24.
That verse applies to you. That's, you are embedded in that particular verse. So God not only embedded your name in there, but he used a specific verse in which to embed it.
That really gives me the GBs. It really gives me the GBs.
Yeah, it's kind of shaky, isn't it? I mean, you find out that things are in there like that.
How about your name?
It comes up. I haven't worked with it much. There are a lot of Kathleen Keatings in the world, apparently. But, you know, it will tell me my eye color.
Really?
My hair color. It's ascending, and you know,
What confidence level? You're basing an awful lot on the Bible code. What real confidence level do you have in it? Is it for you? Absolute, no question about it. But do you wonder from time to time whether you're finding what you want to find? Or you know, what do you think?
Well, that's a very good question. Sometimes it feels like I'm being given a glimpse of the mind of God, and I'm in total awe of what I find. I use it only to confirm my other sources. So when someone tells me, like a visionary or a government person, about a specific thing, I don't necessarily believe them. I try to validate it. And if I find it in the Bible code, it can really shake you up to see that, yes, it's all there.
Well, in the United States alone, there are, upwards of 300 million people.
Right.
And worldwide billions. So how many names really could be in the Bible code?
Tons.
Tons?
Absolutely tons. Tons. Again, not everybody's in there, but it's the people that are, I'm sure it's in the billions.
How many names have you run that aren't in there?
I'd say 10% so far.
So you're saying 90% are in there?
In the past year and a half that I've been dealing with it, yes. Maybe people have different results when they try it.
That's a remarkable hit rate.
Yeah, it is. And maybe those other 10% are in there with an in-law or a spouse or something that I haven't been able to find.
But again, it's unclear. You're saying you find 10% or you find 90%?
I find 90%.
90%.
90% of the things that I'm trying to find.
Uh-huh. That's almost like saying almost all knowledge is in there.
It is the book of knowledge, I believe, because it's incredible. Now, we each have 5 paths to our lives, and the Bible code accounts for that because free will's a witch. You know, it's terrible. People make their minds up about different things. They get married, they get divorced. But you'd be surprised, I mean, you've got spouses in there, not in your code per se, because I didn't run that. That's personal to you. But people have that. Their first spouse, second spouse, whatever. Deaths are listed, deaths delayed. It's amazing.
Death is delayed.
Right. People have had, in fact, a visionary had me run their name in the code, and they had specifically had attempts on their lives, and it was like 8 different times, and death came up delayed, was delayed right across the word death. And it's just astounding.
You are now speaking to the people in New York City, along with the rest of the known world here. But surely the people in New York City have been through a lot. What is ahead for the people in New York?
Rough road for times. And without the help and with prayer, it's going to get really rough. And I'm sad to say that. Father Martin talked about it for a long time. And I haven't been able to find anything that would change my mind that something horrible is going to keep happening to New York until it's finally decimated. I do believe, though, with all my heart and with all of my research, that we can stop it. We can pray. We can just stop it. If we would only do that.
Do you think that so much is available in the Bible code, meaning so many people's names and so much information, almost all information, perhaps if you knew how to look for it, would be in that book of knowledge? That was the whole intent the whole time, that the Bible, as it's literally written, is one thing to be studied, revered, and prayed about, perhaps, but the rest of all the knowledge seem to be in that code in the Bible.
It seems like it, Art, because you learn diseases, and they're in there, and you learn how they're made, and even the Latin term for the diseases, variola for smallpox, and just the little nuances of not only individual lives, but of subject matter and events that I think it is just such an epic book. It's just astounding. And I have tried to debunk it. I have tried my very best to debunk it. And I can't do it.
How would you advise the average person right now, across America, aside from the appeal for prayer and having heard what you have to say about what's coming, give them practical advice?
Okay. Well, for tomorrow, I would keep your children home if you're in a major city. Don't let them go out trick-or-treating. That's the first thing I would do.
Yeah, I don't think I'd let my children out either. I heard some government, somebody, although it was Tommy Thompson, as usual, say, don't let this spoil your Halloween. As a parent, no way. No way.
No.
It'll be interesting to see what happens tomorrow, and I'm sure some parents will go within their own neighborhoods, to people they know. But in terms of, when I was a kid, you took all the bags you could get, and you went to as many homes as you could go to in several hours, and that amounted to many, many homes. And we came home with bags and bags and bags of candy that made ourselves sick. That was the way we used to do it. No more of that stuff, I guess, huh?
No, even in the 60s, kids were coming home with LSD, but now have a party for your kids at home. It's much safer. You know where they are. You know the environment. And if something happens, you're all together. And I think that's important. I think we need to remember that God is in control and He can help us, but we have to ask for it. We have to become friends with God. In the old days, He would talk to people, just as we're talking now to one another. He would literally talk to them about their lives and what they thought, what they were going to do.
God has never talked to me like this.
He could.
I'm sure he could.
I'm sure he would.
The frequencies are always open, but I've not had it yet. Have you ever had God talk directly to you?
I can't say that I have. I can say that I feel that He talks to me, that I feel guided with the Bible code. It's almost as though there's a partnership there, and He has it with everybody. But a lot of people do hear from Him now, and it's going to become more prevalent. Of course, you're also going to have more problems with the dark side trying to communicate. But He's there. He's waiting for us to say, okay, we can't do this. We can't face nuclear disasters without you. Just like we did when we all started using God in our vocabulary again after 9/11. And we did. It's remarkable. And then, of course, the fight comes with certain school districts that we can't have the Pledge of Allegiance, we can't have.
Yeah, there was a lot of that going on.
Yeah, and so we're now going back, the pendulum is swinging back the other way. But when it swings that way, I'm afraid that we're opening the door for worse terrorist attacks than we've ever imagined.
Okay, hold it right there. What we're going to do when we get back is open the lines for Kathleen and Katie. This is pretty heavy stuff, to be sure. We're talking about the Bible code. We're talking about terrorism that's going on and what's going to happen. A lot of us hope they've got high enough prayers and they're voted for a while. Otherwise, somebody out there is getting ready to walk. From Barbara and wait to help us until we pray. There's millions of fools like Kathleen and Katie who've been praying disciples. And God just keep getting this. She is good. And then it gets out. Is it ready to say so much?
There's no line.
What?
There are 25,000 people. God doesn't take life. He can't stand what is happening. But we do need to become acquainted with him because we need to know because of what's coming in the future. And care those like we are talking about.
25,000 more would died.
Well, they could have all gone, didn't they? Sure. But some people either told an inclination to be late for work or something happened. Not that way. Personal obstacles to my destruction. But it isn't. Nothing's random.
Nothing is random.
I mean, you could say that about the world, but look at your code. Did that look random to you?
No, it gives me the changes to it, so I'm not looking at it. Okay, you know, something is random. What about that old free will thing?
Free will goes a lot, and with free will, a lot of people choose evil. And, you know,
But in larger numbers, that becomes random. In other words, it is man choosing evil, not God.
And you're going to reap the consequences.
So God is not orchestrating that. You can put that one off to free will, right?
Well, I think that people are doing what they want to do to bring about a certain end. And those evil people are obviously on an agenda, and they're going to stay on that train until they get to the station that they believe is what they want.
All right, well, I can't put the phones. No idea what awaits. Let's do it. First phone call on line, you're on the way. Hello? Hello, Art. Yes, sir. Hey, I have a question for Kathleen. Yes, Kathleen, I have something for you. The question for Kathleen is, which version of the Bible is she using to write about the Bible? There's many different translations. That is a very good question.
We have a standard Torah in the Bible code software itself. However, I have people that I'm in contact with that use the Dewey Reams, they use Greek text, they use the Hebrew. It can be found in any Bible, but we use the most the Bible that is least translated, the ones that are originally translated from the Latin Vulgate.
What's going on this time? Yes. The song I'd like to listen to, and that really applies right now, the song by Queen called Private Song. It's all right, I'll look into it, sir. Thank you very much. Yeah, so somehow, yes, we had a very, very, very great I made it apply to, I guess, what I'm thinking for anything.
The events that have been happening lately are putting fear into people, which the negative side, I believe, feeds on. So I think people are going back to basics and going back to praying and going back to why. And one of the things about your show are joining me in because you're getting the true code to to a lot of people, but a lot of media are not.
Well, I was not saying what is on my show to be the unadulterated truth. No, reflection on you at all, Kathleen. I mean, on any night ever. I just have an alternative kind of source.
Where people can realize how they feel in their heart about what the people are saying.
But it could be truth you're hearing or BS. Don't make any mistakes.
Yes, it's quite true. People still have their free will to choose.
Yeah, that's right. I've done it with the forum, and you just hear it all here. That's all.
That's right. I believe that also. One of the things I just tuned in about by accident about 4 weeks ago, and I was then when I did the film for a rush, and how the glass came up on Princeton. And what I'm thinking is really we don't need to be praying. First of all, we need to be asking God for help, because even though our angels can know we need the help, a prerequisite, I believe, with them is they cannot help until we actually ask for it, or therefore we certainly need help.
My person's Kathleen agrees with that.
And so I believe, like your show, and we can get out there and be praying and change a lot of the things that are happening. Maybe they'll still happen, maybe not to the extreme that they might have decided to happen. As we said, 25 we say we pray. So I believe that a lot of people on earth, the whole earth, if we all start saying it, and you are around the world, I believe we can give them the most. Well, I agree with that, and I didn't always agree. I didn't think we needed to pray, but over the past 12 years, I've come to the conclusion that it's a very good idea. And it does work. You have a peace about it.
It does work. There's no question about it. I don't doubt it for 1 second. I know it to be true. I know it to be true. On the international line, you're on the air with Kathleen KEATING. Where are you, please?
Hi, I'm calling from La Paz, Mexico, and I'm fine. Yeah, La Paz is just translated from south to east.
Yes.
And I'm really grateful to listen to your program, Kathleen. You have a lot of courage to fingers on the air, and speaking about your name, Mark, I think that God has a special message on you. I think He wants you to tell the whole world, and it's God's message to the program. I have been thankful for so long, and you want to listen to any lifestyle in your life. So if you want to see in God we trust, I think you should start trusting the Lord.
Right. Thank you.
Martin would agree that I think that you have a special.
I'm not a worthy messenger of God, to be sure, or even anybody else connected with Him. I don't feel that way, so it gives me the heebie-jeebies. The whole thing gives me the heebie-jeebies. East of the Rockies, I'm going to go with Kathleen KEATING. Hello.
Yes, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning, Kathleen. Good morning. A very interesting subject. I was just wondering if on the news today with Fox, they came across with an article about the 5 Middle East countries that don't use a manifest on their airplanes, and therefore people coming into the country, can't even have their name. I was wondering if anything you could run through that Bible code in regards to that. Probably could. I haven't had time to run it yet, but I would certainly look into it. I would appreciate that one, because it seems odd that we allow these planes to come in without even the manifest copies that we can sell coming into the country.
I would certainly agree with that, and it's hard to believe, because when you fly into the country, sir, it is our regulation, not that of foreign airlines, but our regulation, that you fill out a form. As you get mid-Pacific or mid-Atlantic, I've done it a million times, they give you a form about nationality and what you're bringing in, and customs form and all of this. You got to fill that out. So I can't believe that there would be any airline where they would be exempt of that.
Well, there's 5 different countries, and one of them happens to be Saudi Arabia, where the terrorists came from.
Well, I understand, but I guess I don't believe it, is what I'm saying. I've flown internationally so many times. Everybody fills out the forms. That's all there is to it. And so they know who you are, and they go through customs and immigration, and they know. Well, hopefully, they know. What's for Rockies? You're on there with Kathleen KEATING. Hello. Hi, I'm Dan. Yes, Dan.
Yesterday you reported a bird kill in India.
Yes,
That was the third order green effect.
what is
The third order green effect. Very
here, Kathleen, KEATING is a first order name effect. I'm not sure what all that means. God says the effects will be like a neutron bomb. I want to know where that was. People in Jatinda, that's Jatinda, and Sam, ASSAM state, are the ones that have observed these hundreds of birds committing suicide. Kathleen, the story is kind of a weird one, and I don't know why I picked it up, but it's a wire service story. And hundreds of birds in India simply started committing suicide, going into a trance-like state and then diving straight into the ground.
Well, I don't know whether it's frequencies or vibrations or something they're picking up on, or it's a precursor. We know that small animals will run away and the birds will fly off and die if things get worse, and it's just telling us that something isn't right.
How do you discern with events on Earth, and there have been some incredible ones, what is a sign, a biblical sign of some kind, and how do you discern that from natural disasters and just the natural run of things that occur on Earth?
Well, we know natural disasters have grown exponentially, but we're also looking for statistics that have been outlined to the visionaries. That we will see small animals die, we will have earthquakes in various places and so forth, but it's going to become more intense. We know to look for that. We know that when the Pope flees Rome, or it's supposedly declared that the warning is going to happen, it's all been laid out, so we're not going to be surprised.
First time caller line, you are on the air with Kathleen, KEATING, and myself. Hello, yes, sir. This is John in Ventura, California. Hi, John. Did you feel any little earthquake as far as this Ventura?
Believe it or not, I didn't feel anything.
Okay.
I know that there was been quite a few locally in Los Angeles the last couple of days. My dad actually told me about one that hit over the weekend. The reason I'm calling, first of all, yes, you are a very special person, believe it or not, because you are being viewed with my wonderful way. You believe everything, maybe you don't do before too long. I'm talking about the entire process that was written about in the Bible is true. I just so happen to know one. This process I got the other one is Dr. Steve Hopkins, who will be here before the world. And that'll be a testimony. It's very powerful knowledge you guys are talking about tonight. And I know this gentleman, his name is Joseph, can talk on this stuff. And I'd just like to be able to have you call in and talk to you sometime if possible.
I'm calling here and we get some way, get me an email, contact info, so. While I'm on the air with Kathleen, KEATING, and myself. Radio on, please.
I'm sorry, I didn't realize that was on. This is Nancy in Hawaii, and I'd like to tell you why I like music is because they have an earthquake music this week. It shows the part in your brain that changes. It's really good for you. And I really believe that the reason the name of the Bible comes is to change things within the decisions we do, which is the way for world peace. And also that these cultural changes that in Mexico, Mexico is places that you can go, and it's also bacteria. And everything will be created at home reality about the relationship we have, and if you go to Catholic and expand things, and that's the relationship we have, you go, Methodist or whatever. Yeah.
I don't know if you that.
Well, it's not for me. But anyway, I think
I had anthrax, I think I'd want to have my own.
well, everybody has their own opinion, but and I know it's not for me, it's got all kinds of bacteria for me, and cold and pneumonia and all kinds of stuff. Anyway, cold is not reality. The reason you have, so I feel that we have to start realizing that all we're going to get on the planet is peace, love, and forgiveness. If we don't start walking our talk, like the Indians say, or the practices that we preach, forgiveness and love, I'm not going to make it to the next level. Like, we need to get that forgiving people and loving them.
Having said that, dear lady, in the face of what just happened to America with the World Trade Centers coming down, the attacks that went on there, that's all everything that's happening. What would you do? Would you be giving that forgiveness and love, or would you be going to war?
I would regulate, I would sit down with conference people and talk to these people and find out what we have done to anger them so much and make them angry. I think that's true. Everyone is not one to show.
Basically, trying to treat this as the operational mode to begin with. I can't do that. And
I think we need to stop the cancer it'll kill us. You have to protect your life too. You have to value your own life and the lives of other people. And if that means that you have to stand up and fight, then you have to stand up and fight. God doesn't want this destruction, and if someone came into your home and tried to kill you, you try to kill them before they got to you. You know, we should turn the other thing to an ideal situation, but this is war, and this is huge war.
that's what it takes.
Good morning, everyone. Yes, I'm going to say that I think that all the crazy people about me is a lot of fun. Fascination that you're needed. And it's someone else put it in the other side. So, I also think thinking out of the box, but they've always been out of the box. Account on the World Trade Center of the inside job. And then about the internet.
What was your inside job? What do you mean?
So that they can use their atomic bomb or whatever kind of bomb within that. And these 25,000 people that Kathleen is talking about that was a mistake that World Trade Center bomb. We checked the inside now. It wasn't from God. It was from another source.
Kathleen, you want to run?
Well, the answer to the question is interesting. I don't know if it's an inside job or not. We certainly have the capability. I don't think, it was an inside job with the World Trade Center. I think that was from above. Yeah.
What happens, there's always a percentage of people in America that think it's some government cut out outside the government that's really pulling all the strings and that they're the ones to do this.
Well, unfortunately, though, it's coming down to that. There's a lot of that we're finding in research, and certainly the Bible code indicates it. So it's an interesting thing now trying to suss out if this is one of those actions or if this is just something that happened to us. Taliban related completely.
Kathleen KEATING, not a lot of time. Hello. Hey, Art Downey in Long Beach, California. Yes, sir. Hey, I'd like you to try one thing with Kathleen on the line. She's here listening. Okay. That's my ears computer. Q33NY. I converted to Windows. Yeah, it's all over the internet. Yeah, that's all over the internet. So long now. Okay, thank you. You're very welcome. And also kinds of symbology. That's what you're aware of that?
Well, I think we're all finding things and certainly remarkable things are coming up.
But not everything necessarily relates. I mean, there's usually looked at, who might get me, we've got one priority. People were coming up with this long before the World Trade Center attacks. It was presumptuous to revive in the computer world for this particular situation. And it's not around the internet like a virus. I'm going to go from the hitting of my guest, and we'll be back with your calls.
Well, I don't know what that is, but it happens a lot, so I guess I'm just gotten used to it.
There's those who don't want to accept the message. They don't just reject it, they reject it with lots of prejudice.
Yeah, I would get it sometimes, but that's okay. That's no big deal. I can understand that.
If I'm going around, you know, they're Kathleen, when you're not everybody can please, the obvious photograph. Absolutely. I think all of these things that we're seeing are the voice things before he shows up on the scene. Well, I am myself a faker. Was being paid. You might say, yeah, what you're saying. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yes. Yeah. Absolutely. Right. Are you not concerned at all for the consequences? No. No. Not at all. What is it that you think awaits you at the physical, whatever it is? Okay, well, I know I'm just asking a general question. I mean, you ask a Christian what awaits. Most Christians can give you some description of what they think awaits on the other side. Since you're a Satanist, I thought I would ask you what you think awaits on the other side. Well, which we all know. And if they don't do it here, there's no fear there. There's no way for paradise. I had a visionary contact me about the paradise that some of the terrorists saw. And that person was given a vision of the so-called virgins that they would see. And they were hideous. It was just appalling. The person just begged not to see anymore. Hideous virgins? Yes. Horrible looking things. More like beasts. I've seen them. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. These are the Rockies on here. Kathleen Keating, hello. Hello, Kathleen. Just curious about something. I've been put in a really awkward position, I would think, with this group consciousness stuff is actually a really major thing. And I was just wondering if you had an opportunity to run a quote with regards to group consciousness and if it does actually have a part three in my opinion. I think maybe you could encourage him to go through it and the fear of the consequences. That's right.
I'd be happy to run that, and if I did anything, I'd be happy to post it on the website. I do that when people have specific requests. And as far as art, I'm sure that there's more people told that who really wants to know. But, it would take more research, but I'm sure that the picture is in there as well.
Would be interesting because it is actually, it's a amazing opportunity for art, but it's also very scary on other things.
Well, we have different positions, and I think I would agree with you.
Yes. Sure. Okay, we'll find out, I guess. Most of the ones from the old Kathleen Keating alone. Morning, Bob. Good morning, Kathleen.
Morning.
I was going to listen to two questions for Kathleen. Number one, I'm curious if she believes in predestination.
Yes, to a certain degree, I think certain people are born to do certain things, and they show that in their lives.
With everything that's written in the Bible, everything written predestination, the whole thing,
Predestination to a point, but there is also free will. I think people like ourselves, we're meant to be on radio, that we brought him in, and he would be on radio in these particular times, instead in the 40s and 30s. He was born for this time. And I think that a lot of people have that role, like President Kennedy was born to be president at a specific time.
When you say just,
Well, because of free will. We can always, I could say, well, I never did want to do radio, I never have gotten into it, I never would have been interested.
Okay, then my second question, without naming names what title or what title would you get, would you have for defense grade?
What title is?
Really have a title, will it be a leader, what we call it, president?
World teacher.
World teacher.
Yeah. I think we'll probably call it the man. Yeah.
Okay.
Although he will claim he's the God, but he'll be the big guy.
Okay. First time caller line, you're on the air with Kathleen Keating in Arkansas. I don't remember reading. Yes, you're calling from one down to the West Coast here. Yes, indeed. Yeah, well, I went down to a quote you were posing two parts. First, have you understanding of the Bible code and your studies and research heard anything of a blue star prophecy? And also the second part of that question would be a vision of about both outside the 200-mile line of the macroeconomic and a world war going towards the coast. The reason I'm asking is because the vision has come forward with association with this. I was wondering if you know anything about that. Unfortunately, I'm between different radio stations because I'm blind, so I won't be able to hear the response. Unfortunately, until later on in the evening. All right. Thank you very much for your efforts, and I really appreciate everything you've done. Okay, sir, thank you very much. Kathleen, do you know anything about it?
I have heard the blue star prophecy, and I'm looking into it, and I also heard about the ship Washington Post with the news. And the tidal wave that will follow it. It's a series of prophecies that I believe will come to fruition.
Gosh, Kathleen, the Cold War ended and things were humming along. The economy was going so well. Everything seemed hunky-dory. People were damn near bored. And then all of this has happened. I mean, all of a sudden the world is back in dire, critical condition. we're on the verge of a world war. It seems like Bible prophecy coming true in front of our eyes, and just out of the blue it came when things were least expected.
Well, I guess if they released the big secret of Fatima in 1960 the way they were supposed to, we wouldn't be here.
Or wouldn't be here?
Well, we wouldn't be in this position. We'd be in a lot better position.
We might not be surprised, huh?
Right.
All right. Wild card line, you're on the air with Kathleen. Hi, this is Bill in West Providence, Connecticut. It's a pleasure bringing some logic and reason, if I may say, atheism to the picture. First of all, that's what I'm calling for. It's a logical and rational judgment. I'm not a Let me get to my mind. People assume the challenge is the World Trade Center. Probably wicked out things Islamic I agree that in a lot of ways, human behavior right now has no force appears to be religiously based, and this one doesn't seem any different to me, Kathleen.
I think the worst war that we're facing is the atheistic war coming out of Russia. Not over, it's not dead, they're not dead, and they're going to prove that they're going to kill a lot of people in the name of atheism. Religion or atheism, whatever you want to call it, this is alive and well.
Atheism is a self-religion. It's such a firm, I mean, a quick sale, we don't agree. Yes, they do. Rocky, you're on here with Kathleen, KEATING. Hello. Hello. Yes, good morning.
Good morning. The vision areas is probably research. I use them with government sources. And so when you hear, if you've heard about vision areas, on September 11, 1990, what happened September 11, 2001, incident, okay, so we've given a vision that day, and other visionaries were also given the same sort of vision on September 11, 1991. And this is the on the media, the World Trade Center, the moment. Lots of also in New York, actually, really